Hi, folks. So I have decided to do kind of something a little bit different in that fourth week check-in. I thought it made more sense to kind of wrap up the whole month of December rather than cut it off on the 29th because I would still have the 30th and the 31st to talk about. So this just made more sense to do it this way. So this is going to come out. I'm filming the video on January 1st, but it'll probably come out on like the 2nd or the 3rd after my debt confessional video, which is going to go out on the 1st. Um, so anyway, I figured it made more sense to like actually be out of the month before I talk about exactly how I did at the end of the month and then just kind of finalize and wrap it up for the month. So, and in future, maybe for the whole year at this point, at the end of December. But without further ado, let's get into my budget. Now, I don't know if I talked about this last week or not. I think I did. My online teaching job decided to pay us this week instead of next week. However, I don't want to get my budget all messed up in my head because in my head it's a 3 pay month. And so I don't want to be like, wait a minute, where did that third pay go? So I just actually put it into January. It's part of my January budget. I technically already have the money right now, but it made more sense to put it there for right now. My mother did, in fact, give me money for the Christmas ham and some of the groceries that I got for her. I didn't really need her to, but she gave it to me nonetheless. So I did end up tracking those two things. Um, as far as spending for this last week and a couple of days go, you can see, well, let's see here. Let's go into my living expenses because those are really the variable ones. My mortgage, 76 and 30 cents. That never really changed. Well, it might change in July because I bought my house in July. So when that wraps around, usually they adjust based on new taxes, new insurance, and whatever. So assuming that at some point what I have to put in escrow changes a little bit, that is probably going to adjust a couple of dollars, but it's not going to change month to month. My electrical is $30.69. That's what my electrical and my gas, I actually get those bills ahead of time. So like when I'm going to do a January budget video, probably tomorrow. I might film that yet tonight. I don't know. But I actually at the point where I sit down and make my budget out for the month, like it's complete for January, but I actually already know what my gas and my electrical bill is going to be. Like it's technically last month's usage or previous cycle's usage, but I it makes more sense for me to take it out the month that the money comes out of my bank. So that's how I have that set up. So the bill has already come in. I don't have to budget for, well, I think it'll be this, and it ended up being more or less. Like I know exactly what that's going to be. Same thing with my phone. My sewer is always the same. My water is always the same, although it is, well, I shouldn't say is always the same. That's a variable thing. I very rarely go over that. Like I very rarely even get close to the minimum. That's the minimum amount, although that's going up in February. A couple of dollars for the minimum. But again, like it's rare that I go over the minimum. I don't use a ton of water, and sewer is separate from water, so that's that. My garbage, that's how much I put in the sinking fund. I am going to increase that next year because there was a fuel surcharge that was added to the garbage. And so that is going to cost me a little bit more. My internet is going to be, hang on. I'm making bagels, and that was my timer to check them. If you hear that dinging in my background, that's my Alexa device. I didn't want to say it out loud in case you're near one because she'll go off. So I'm going to pause, but it'll just look like a weird edit. Okay. I had to make sure the bagels were ready for their slow rise process, which is fun. You take the one you made last, basically, and shaped last, and drop it in water. If it floats, it's ready. If it doesn't, give it more time. I don't really know why. I don't understand the process, but I know it works. So then they have to actually rise in the fridge overnight, like a very, very slow rise. And I'll bake them off in the morning. So I'm excited to have fresh bagels tomorrow. Um, Anyway, where was I? Okay, so internet. So my internet is probably going to change a little bit. I was initially thinking of when my contract is up in July, just canceling and going down to um, just just internet. But I think I'm going to keep this the way that it is. Um, I may end up looking at I feel like I don't really have a lot of time to do a lot of research and figure out like if I want to do something like Sling or um what have you, because I kind of feel like I don't think I will get anything any cheaper because the bulk of that is actually my internet. So my internet's like 80-ish dollars, almost $90. So you're looking at like adding TV for $30, which doesn't seem like a huge, like I feel like I can't beat that doing other things and still get all the channels that I get. So um that's probably going to stay where it is at right now. So groceries, I am a little under in groceries because my mother ended up giving me money for the ham. My car, I am way, way, way under in car. I honestly expected to be doing more. But yeah, nope. Lot left over there. Um, I went over on personal, sort of. If you remember, I have cash. Like I can literally go get it and show it to you. I have cash for gifts. I just had no ability, well, in this pandemic, I wasn't about to go walk into a store and pay for something with cash. So I ended up ordering a lot of gifts online, which I wasn't originally intending on doing. So it looks like I went over in personal, but I still have the cash somewhere, so I can just use that, but or drop that in my bank account and kind of even that out. But I don't quite know what I want to do yet, since I do still have a lot of wiggle room in my budget. I'm thinking I'll just leave the cash where it's at, and then um, you know, I still make way more than I even budget, so I think I'll be okay there. And I can just, when it's safe to go back out and buy things in cash, I can do that, or I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that money, but that's that major overage. Um, Oops, I realized right now I'm gonna put in there as a budgeted for my parents. Means I'm only $39 in the hole, which is not that bad considering gifts, and I super stupidly forgot something, which I think I talked about last week. I'm not positive. Um, I forgot my Sam's Club renewed. It renews in December, and I know that. I forgot. Um, I last year was using the EveryDollar, and I would used to like I would go back to like, oh, what was going on last December? So I probably would have realized that, and I think I need to kind of keep going back and checking that for right now just to make sure I'm not missing anything, because I definitely missed that. I knew, and it always says in my notes like December, this, whatever. I also have a planner that I clearly need to just note some of that stuff down in. I do some financial stuff in my planner. I just missed that one, is what it is. So that's pain. So that put me um, a little over in House and Garden. I was a little under. Now I'm $30 over. It was a $45 renewal. Yeah, right there. So I originally had, what did I say, $5.14 to spare. Oh my God, why do I keep doing that? So much for that. I still have $20 of restaurant money to spend, and that includes a Sheetz run. After I had a physical therapy appointment, and I was starving. I got up too late to make breakfast, and that's what it's there for. Budgeted it for a reason. because I do stuff like that. I did actually make another trip to the grocery store. I checked out Aldi. Um, I kind of liked what I saw there. I'm not sure about some of the quality of things. Like it looks fine. It looks okay. I don't really see any issues, but I'm kind of that's really the only concern I have because I've never really had the food. But I bought a thing of I bought a chocolate bar because I figure milk chocolate with almonds. You make good chocolate, you probably know what you're doing. Not sure what the hazelnut paste is about. However, I feel like if this is half decent, then your food's probably okay. If it's terrible, then I don't know what I'm going to do. I also bought a thing of frozen avocado, like frozen avocado chunks. And I thought, I'm super hoping that these things are the solution to our avocado problem in places where avocados don't grow. Because we have this, like, it's very difficult to get them, like, when they're ready. You know, oftentimes you bring them home and, like, they're green. And so you think they're going to be there for a couple of days. So you get them early enough for, like it's almost impossible to time. Like, guacamole just has to be one of those things for us, where I live, where you go to the store and you're like, oh my God, there's avocados ready to eat. Let's have some guac now. Which is kind of annoying. And I thought, if you can flash freeze fresh avocado and I can use those and make guac out of them, then I can have guac whenever I want and I don't ever have to worry about like timing avocados because that is a real pain. So I wanted to try that. That was on sale, and I decided to try the chocolate because I thought about going to Aldi after I went to the grocery store already. Just that was my mistake. Thought about it after the fact. So I went to the grocery store. Ultimately, I'll have to go back probably Sunday morning, for some salad mix, because that's really the only thing that I couldn't get far enough, like that doesn't stay fresh far enough out. And I might instead run to Aldi for that and see like what I can get there. But everything else is pretty much going to be set for the week. So I'm pretty excited about that. That covered, I'm good there. And realistically, because I'm still, that'll take me into next week, and that's a week's worth of groceries that I'm not really going to need next week. So I'll have some leftover grocery money next week too, or at least have some more wiggle room to do some more with. Okay. I think that's it for any new purchases. There might have been gas, half tank of gas, because my dad, man, he drilled it into me. Can't let it go less than a half. I'm going to actually fill up tomorrow because I have to run back down to my parents' house. I left the Christmas ham at the house, which was stupid, but I did nonetheless. Sinking funds, they've all been taken care of. Debt payoff, here's my debt totals based on what I started with, what I currently have. This debt payoff is pretty much, this is just what I paid this year towards my debt in general. But this balance, I was kind of playing around with this for next year, really, to kind of see what that would look like. So can't really pay attention to any of the numbers here because it's not even really the right starting balance. And then I created a new sort of money moves chart, which I think I showed last week. So this is the difference between my income and what I have actually budgeted. There's my leftover expenses, $39. I went over my budget by $39. So that gives my total left over that. I took out the amount of money that I put towards my HSA because I went to max that out. Remember, I put that note at the top that said I needed to put like $50.08 towards my HSA. So that leaves a total of $1,407.71 that I can put towards debt. So I am going to put that, I am going to pay my, I'm going to take that amount of money and I'm going to put that on my personal loan because if you recall from the debt video, if you watched it, that, let me see, would have landed a day or two ago from when you're watching this video. That started out at about $1,900 is, wait a minute, I think I put it in here. $1,974.20. So I am going to put that onto my debt. And I'll tell you what, I will do that right now with my phone. That's going to get close to being paid off, so that's great. Come on. There we go. All right, transfer funds from my accounts. Let's go to from my checking to my loan. Let me back up a second here. Okay, good, that loan. I just thought transfer funds. Thought for a second there that like the billing cycle for it hadn't switched over, and I thought, oh, I'm still gonna owe that next payment, which it doesn't matter. I'm gonna pay the whole thing anyway, but I was just kind of looking at that like, wait. All right, so from checking to my loan. Ooh. $1,407. Why don't we just make that $1,408? Now let's keep it this right way because I'm gonna. Okay. It's a lot easier. I'm getting paid in a couple of days. That helps. Helps not to have to go anywhere or be able to go anywhere. The cool thing that I like about this is it is like instantaneous. It will take off the money. I'm curious if it will do it today because it's on a holiday, but you would think that it would. It was a loan through the same bank. I'm just literally moving money from one place to the other. And yes, there it is. I have $571.99 left on my personal loan. Huzzah! That's exciting. That's very exciting. Fabulous. So that means next month I have about $1,400 left over in my budget to work with in general. Ooh, okay, so that did count as my payment in January. And then, let's see here. So $571.99 will go on the personal loan, which means about 900 extra plus 1,000. So 1,000 will go on my Citibank, which is nice. The 100 that I already send. No, more than that. More than that, because actually that 1,400 does not. Let me see. That's what's left over out of my budget, but this $571.99 minus. That $1,400, what's left over, already includes the payment that I would normally make to take that, like that already includes that money coming out of it. So that really leaves me with $344.48 of that. I'm pointing at it like you can see, of this snowball payment. So that actually means that I will be able to put even more on that Citibank card. So that's exciting. I understand why the snowball method can be effective, because that's like, if I had taken that $1,400 and just spread it out through all of them, you feel like you would make a little bit of progress on all of them, but not a lot of progress. So yeah, okay. So that is, so I need to add up the payment I would have already made this month. Oh, no, I guess I just need to. Yeah, no, I need to. All right. So I actually this month made a payment of $1,634.92 on that loan. Six, 3, 4, 9, 6, 3, 4, 9, 2. Woo boy. Now, $1974.20 plus 227.51. So I had, it's right there. I had 2186.27, and I subtracted 163,492. All right, so without the interest added, it would have been 542.35. And so what do I actually have left? So this math doesn't actually check out, because this includes, so I will have 579, no, 71.99 left. This balance includes that interest calculated in, so it doesn't quite work out the same way. So yeah, if you kind of look at, well, wait, if you made that doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't. It shouldn't. But that's the $571.99 is what I will have to pay next month, and that will clear entirely, because I think that includes the interest for includes actually the interest for January. I think if I hit February, there would be interest calculated into February. So I only have the $571.99 left at this point, and that will get paid off. It is technically already January, but I will wait until the money for January comes in, because one check is in, yes, but the other is not going to drop until the 4th, because that's what we voted on. So that's it. That's the wrap up of the December budget. Promise I will get faster at this, and I will get better at this. I should probably change that. What did I pay total? So $527.51 plus 14. Why does it do that? Well, that was weird. Think there's something wrong with my spreadsheet. Yikes. All right, well, I'm going to have to go fix that later, but thanks. I kind of stayed on budget, sort of. Close. It was close-ish by the end. Hopefully I'll do better in January, and maybe in some cases I just need to adjust.